Right. I'm here now with Joshface. How you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well.
Brilliant. I mean, I was trying to think earlier about because we've had an interview before, but it was like a year ago or more, was it?
It must have been 2018 because
Really?
that was when I was finishing my university course.
Blimey.
Um, and that's when I was doing my final project and when I had just released my first EP, Human. So
Right.
that was late 2018.
Crikey.
But we may have had our interview in early 2019, around
That's
about that time.
that is, yeah. I've never put it that far back, but there you go. There you go. Yeah. So let's have a little chat about lockdown and how it's affected you,
Oh
musically,
yes.
and how did it go for you?
Well, it's been the way I would describe it is sort of a blessing and a curse because over the course of lockdown, I think any musician will probably tell you that there's sort of an illusion that's built up that uh, there's such a thing as a full-time musician. There isn't. Um, I'm sorry to break that illusion, but there's always a day job, and of- as soon as my day job sort of got put on hold, I was able to sort of as much of a focus myself into as much of a full-time musician as I could be, and that was wonderful. It was really great for me to be able to dedicate all this time into making music, and I started looking at my setup and thinking, what can I improve here? So I got a better desk. I got this chair, which I absolutely love. And I upgraded my software, I upgraded my hardware, and my workflow just increased tenfold because of it. I was able to
Fantastic.
sort of record more from home, and I wasn't able to like go out into studios that I sort of wanted to. So I sort of became my own studio. I sort of created a studio space, and
Right.
that was really really cool. It was really cool to sort of increase my workflow in that sense.
Right.
Yes, I do miss seeing people. I do miss going out, and I do miss performing. My God, do I miss performing live? I would absolutely love to be back on stage again.
Yeah. I
But
mean, most of the people I've interviewed, bands, they're exactly the same. I mean,
yeah.
that's what you literally create music for, is to be live on stage,
Oh gosh, yeah.
with people.
I
So
I miss it so much, and I'm in talks with a couple people as to getting a backing band together for Joshface and making it become this much more present thing where it's not just myself; it's myself
right.
and a bunch of musicians, and I want to include visual elements into that as well. I've got
Okay.
really big plans for it, but unfortunately, they can't be put into place right now. But
Yes. Yeah.
in the intermediate time, I've been focusing a lot more on just getting the music side of it solid.
I mean, I have noticed that because, like, was it your first EP was Human,
Yes, yeah.
which, for want of a better word, it was more electronica, wasn't it?
Yes, very much so.
And some of the stuff you sent me now, and that I've seen on various platforms, is
Yeah.
is very heavy electric guitar driven sound.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Um,
how did that sort of come? Why the change? What sort of you know?
that's a good question. It's sort of I mean, I'm very much respect bands who put out something a little different but is still sort of true to themselves every time with every release and with every new album. So with this, it sort of felt natural. Back when I was making sort of computer music and sort of just making little synthy bloopy stuff, the natural progression was to sort of become more rocky because that's the sort of music I like and listen to and make.
Right.
And sort of from here, it's evolved a little further, and it's sort of straying away from the electronic side of it. There's still electronic elements in my new EP, Delicate Art of Destruction. But they're very much sort of reserved for choruses and just bridge parts, and it's sort of lower in the mix. It's not the sort of driving focus as it once was. I think that
Right.
sort of reflects the lyrical themes and the overall themes of the album anyway. It's
Right.
heavier, it's darker, and I can't really express those sort of themes through synthesis.
Yeah. Got you.
Um, it's mainly done through traditional sort of uh, heavy overdriven guitars.
Right. And is all the sound that you produce, is that done at home and by you?
Yeah, everything is done by me as it sort of always was. The only exception being on this EP, I had it professionally mastered. I had it mastered by Bora Karaja, who has worked with some of my favorite bands. I usually have the EP in this room, but he worked on my favorite album of all time. So being able to sort of get him was pretty incredible,
Right.
honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Superb, superb. So is that sort of could that be an ongoing relationship for mastering for you and that sort of stuff?
Possibly, I would love for that to be the case, but we'll have to see. I quite like being able to be fully in control of my own music,
Right.
but the being able to master music sort of requires a professional ear, and it's really good to sort of present music to someone else in such a way because
Yes.
uh, I'm quite I'm not quite as brutally honest with myself as they might be, which is really good and sort of useful for the production process.
Okay. So aside from obviously lockdown giving you a more of a musical focus, if you like,
Yeah.
um, did that leave you much time for doing anything else other than music? I mean, what
Um,
does Josh Face do in his spare time apart from music?
that's a good question. I play video games. I play a lot of video games, and that's sort of pretty evident in my music as well. Um, a lot of stuff from Mouth and from the first EP, especially Mouth, because that samples stuff that sounds very much like if you stripped away all of the like guitars and all of the drums and you literally just had the synth sounds, they sound like they could be from video games,
Right,
honestly.
right.
Um, so I very much sort of incorporate that influence into my music anyway. But yeah, I really enjoy that sort of stuff. Really enjoy playing video games. I've been working towards more academic things as well. I've been looking into creating video essays.
Okay.
Um, so I really want to discuss some sort of prevalent themes in the world of pop music through video. I'm not sure when or if that'll ever happen, but it's something I've been working towards as well.
Sounds
Um,
fantastic.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I've been ever since graduating from university, I've sort of missed the academia side of it. I'm just sort of very enamored with that side of it as a
Right.
whole. I really like enjoying video essay content anyway. So the natural progression felt for me to sort of make my own.
Brilliant. So, where do you see, when this current crisis we're in, when,
Hmm.
obviously there's going to be an end to it, hopefully.
Fingers
Um,
crossed.
yeah, fingers crossed. Where do you see, Josh Face music going, after?
Um, I'm always looking to for the next like bigger and better thing. Um, I think I'm gonna be making music sort of forever. I always have little ideas and always have little projects. Ever since my first EP came out, I sort of had a plan for the next one, and ever since this one came out, I've got an idea for what I want the next one to be. I've already got ideas of lyrical themes. I've got demos in the work already. So the next thing I want is sort of a full length album. I definitely want that to come out at some point. I
Right,
definitely want to be doing more live music with other professional musicians behind me. Would
right,
absolutely love that.
right.
As soon as I can get out and get gigging again, I will.
So
Um,
would your next project, your next album, as you say, would that just be all your stuff, you doing it, or would you have members from, your band or whatever? Would they be,
I think
you know,
so. I think I'm sort of coming to terms with the fact that like having everything sort of done myself is a very sort of slow workflow. I'm sort of getting tired with how slow it is. I mean,
right?
the first EP took something like 5 years to make, and the next one took um 2 years, but in reality, it had been in production for like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
It's a very, very slow process, and I've been reaching out to more people to get more sort of content and more musical ideas together. And it's been really exciting to sort of work with other people rather than sort of against it and sort of shunning it and being like, no, it's all going to be me, sort of beginning to end, which is great because I get, full ownership of absolutely every part of it, and I
Yeah.
can be my own director. But it's really, really exciting to see what other people bring to the table as well.
Okay. So, band wise, have you got people that already lined up, or are you just looking there now?
Well, I've got a couple pals lined up, but I still need more. So if you're out there, get in contact. If you like the music I make, send me a message. Maybe we can work together. I
And
would absolutely love that.
how do they get hold of you? What's the address or whatever?
Well, you can find me pretty much anywhere on the internet. If you just Google Joshface, I'm the first result, which I've been working very hard to do, which is very, very
Right.
cool. But you
Right.
can email me. Email me at joshfacemanagement@gmail.com, or Twitter is probably a good way to get hold of me. It's just at Joshface. But I keep up to date with all my socials and stuff like that.
Superb. Absolutely superb. Right. I'm going to ask a daft question, random daft question.
Oh, yes, please.
I've asked this a couple of times with different bands. So, any band, if you could open right on stage for any band, been or present or whatever, which band would you choose, and why?
I think I'd be very selfish in that I would probably choose a band who I would want to see live and want to like bring over and want to get here. And I'm not sure if it would work sort of in a sense of musicality, but in a sense of like theatrics. I'd probably pick Noah, who are an LA based duo, who also produce like very, very synthy, very experimental sort of synth jazz is what I would call it. Synth
Okay.
jazz pop. But they produce stuff that is like really sort of incredible. It's sort of an incredible visual as well as auditory experience. I've seen them live twice, and it just gets more and more incredible each time.
Brilliant.
Noah, they're called
Noah.
Knower, and
Okay.
I
Well,
absolutely love them, and I would love to support them. And failing that, maybe Flummox, who are also producing really, really weird, just so bizarre and obscure sort of like jazz metal is what I would call it.
okay.
Jazz punk metal. And they're a band from America as well. So I would love to support them. I would love to play with them, only to be able to sort of see them live, really. So it would be very selfish on my part.
Okay. Yeah, it's well, nothing wrong with that at all, mate. At
No.
all. No. Right. So I'm trying to think then. There was another question, and it's that moment where it just gets at your grasp
I
and
hate
it's gone.
that.
Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, if I'm on this YouTube channel that this is going out on, there's a section on it for music from the interviews. So each band will give me a couple of tracks that they've got videos to on YouTube, and I'll just put them into that section.
Oh, cool.
So have you got a couple of tracks of yours that you would like me to put up?
Yes, I'm still currently in the process of making proper music videos for them. But what I do have is I've got visualizer elements which I've created, which were designed to be projected behind me as I play.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I haven't really had the opportunity to show those off.
Okay.
Because, as I've mentioned, I would love to do that. I would love to sort of play live and have people experience that fully. But I've got those which I can send over.
Well, yeah, go for that. That'll be fantastic because that'll be quite unique. So yeah. Okay. As in the first interview, we're going to end it with the question about is there anybody you'd like to thank? For you being here musically.
I don't really want to thank anyone else who I haven't already thanked. So I'm trying to think of newer and different people. I've sort of engaged in a fan community around my music. We've got our own little server where we sort of exchange ideas, and I'll say, hey, I'm doing this, and they'll sort of you know, come back with different ideas and stuff like that, and they'll say, I like how this sounds, and etc. etc. So I'd love to I'd love to thank that community. They've been really great and really lovely, and they've been making really funny jokes around my music as well, which I find absolutely hilarious. I love that. Recently, Matt Dixon did a piece on me in the local paper, which was very, very cool. Absolutely incredible to see myself in print. That was amazing. I'd like to thank you for having me on the show.
No problem, mate. Yeah.
And that's around about it. And everyone else who made the music possible. And Bora, again, he's been absolutely amazing.
Right. Brilliant. Listen, Josh, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, mate. You know, and your enthusiasm for what you're doing is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I'm glad that comes through.
Yes, it does. And you know, any new projects that you're doing, keep me up to date on it.
Oh, I should mention, I'm also completely slipped my mind. I'm working on a fan-based tribute album to Lemon Demon's album Spirit Phone, and I've got a cover for that song, one of the songs from that album. That's coming out tomorrow, so it'll already be out by the time this video comes out.
Yeah.
And that's a cover of a song called Reaganomics. It's all about Ronald Reagan and how sort of bizarrely, sort of in a sort of like superhero way, he's going to like save everyone through the power of economics.
Brilliant.
It's sort of funny in that sense.
Yeah.
That will be out by now.
Okay, well, I mean, what I'm hoping for is I've got another, I think, an interview this afternoon, but by lunchtime tomorrow, the YouTube channel I'm using, WKS, I'll put it live then, because there's probably about 5 or 6 interviews on there and lots of music, so I'll be as well just go through it. Yeah. All right. Well, look, thanks for talking to me. And
no worries at all.
Yeah. Hope you stay safe and do all that bit for the remainder of this lockdown business.
Oh, you know it. I'm planning to stay as safe as I possibly can.
Yeah,
so be sure to wash your hands out there.
You got it, mate. You got it. Thanks a lot, Josh.
No worries.
Cheers.